Way Out is one of my favorite co-op games of all time. Breaking out of prison with my boy was super fun, and all of the dumb mini-games were a blast. Please put stuff like this in Animal Crossing. I remember we got into an arm wrestling match, and I only lost because my hand got tired. It was awesome! The story was very gripping, and I love how the last little bit of the game,
spoilers,
took all of the different gameplay styles and put it into a PvP setting. But there's one thing that holds the game back from being perfect. And it kind of hurts to say it because it's just at the core of the game's design philosophy and a major selling point. The split screen takes away way more than it adds in both story and gameplay. If A Way Out was online only, I think it would be a way better game. There are multiple points throughout the game where the split screen just takes away from the gameplay. In my dumbass opinion, one of the best examples of this is when Leo and Vincent are in their cells and they have to break off the toilet while the guards aren't looking. One guy is lookout while the other guy is trying to rip the toilet out of the wall. The lookout player has to call out to the toilet player when the guard is coming so he can take a pause for the cause. It's a great segment of the game. But here's the thing, it's split screen. All the toilet guy does is button mash and rotate the analog stick. What you're doing isn't the most demanding, so it's very easy for you to look at the other screen, leading to the toilet player asking the lookout player to look at the other side. It happened when I played it, happened when the Game Grumps played it.
And check the other one. Is he walking towards us? Wait, look the other way, please.
It takes some of the stress away when you can see for yourself how far away the guard is. You learn how close they can get to you before you have to stop if you can see them. And the lookout player is kind of useless now because realistically you can just do it on your own. Which is crazy because it's still great. It's just that one thing just ever so slightly holds it back from true godhood. It's like when you realize you missed one note in a rhythm game. Come on! Now, let's take away the split screen. Now listen, Oscar. Stressful. You can't learn the timing to stop working on the toilet or bark at your friend to look the other way when you have zero idea where the guards are. As a lookout player, you don't know how fast or slow the other player is moving without them updating you. So you kind of just have to figure out, based off of their updates, how close the guard can get before you tell them to stop, which leads to the players communicating more. When a guard does get close, you're left in suspense, not knowing if the other player has stopped until the guard reaches the cell and does or doesn't yell at them. Every single time. And from the toilet player's perspective, they only know they're good when the camera turns around and shows nobody in front of the cell. As it is now, the characters only get half the perspective, but as the players, you get the full perspective and there's just that bit of disconnect there. And it's not in that fun storytelling way of you getting more of the picture. It's in that lame God mode type of way. The other instance of having guards around your cell while you're doing something sketch is during the shakedown. Shakedown! Still a pretty stressful moment, but it kind of loses me a bit because the game just hands you the answer. Vincent gets the prompt to help Leo, which both players can see because it's split screen, and then you just hand it over and call it a day. Now imagine if it wasn't split screen. You don't know what's happening, and all you know is there are guards in your boy's cell right now, and he has the wrench. Now when the game wants you to hand it off, you have to either see the prompt or see your buddy's hand just kind of flailing about. I guess the player can just say like, hey yo, get the wrench please. But that brings me to a little interlude I have. Proximity chat would be super neat for this game. It's not the most revolutionary idea, but I think it would be super cool in situations where you were around guards. You would have to keep quiet. If your voice hits a certain decibel or whatever through the in-game chat while you're sneaking, it will alert the guards a bit, so you have to whisper in those segments. Or in situations like with the wrench, when you speak, the guard will yell at you no matter what, cutting off your voice, making you rely on like visual or like other forms of communication with your friend, like swapping from game chat to party chat. Don't do anything with voice recognition, because that doesn't work. Just leave it at the volume of someone's voice. Make the players have to talk to each other like the characters do. Just something little you can add to the stew to make it more spicy. Or like when you're in that house sneaking around the old couple, limiting the player's communication in that moment can go a long way in improving immersion. Back to our featured presentation on how this game's presentation hurts itself. The hospital set piece is a great set piece. That could be made better if you couldn't see what the other player was doing. There's a lot of moments where one player is just watching the other player do something cool and they're just sitting there waiting for their turn to play. It's kind of lame not being able to participate in the escape the whole time. Remove the split screen. Now both players are constantly playing the game instead of taking a break every few minutes. And with the proxy chat, you have no idea what the other guy is doing because you can't communicate with them. If it's set up like this, you can show Vincent being a snake to his player, and then explain how they pulled off that escape. For the ending bit of the game, it would be better without the split screen. No screen peeking now, and you can only hear your friend when you get close to them, kind of like a violent game of hot and cold. And knowing your friend is near you, you can abuse the proxy chat to throw out fake callouts. Removing the split screen will give the gameplay a bunch of small improvements that just end up stacking on top of each other. But the story, on the other hand, will get some small improvements, but also one major one. To start with the small ones, the split screen kinda ruins the throw to emotional moments. Vincent, look. It's our newly born child. Wow, honey, she's beautiful. Hey son, I know you're mad at me. Let me do this thing that'll make you a little happy, and then we can start a dialogue about it. And when Leo's having a moment with his wife, maybe don't have Vincent absolutely dunking on his kid on the other side of the screen. To the game's credit, it does phase out the other screens, but I think it does it a bit too late. Like, Vincent is already holding his kid, and Leo is just on the other screen like, Farrah says it's my turn to hold the baby. You don't really need to see those moments where the other player's character is being humanized. Like, Leo doesn't really need to see Vincent hold his baby. I guess it helps you feel bad for when you light the other character up at the end of the game. But I think the 10 hours you've spent with each other should do enough of a job of making you feel bad for them. You know what's happening in that room even if you don't see it. And you know they're having a moment in the RV if you don't see it. The game should be more focused on having these moments motivate the player to pull the trigger at the end of the game, and not for the player to feel bad that they pulled the trigger. I think those flashbacks at the end of the game when they're fighting in the rain would be a lot more powerful if those were the first times, like, Leo's players saw Vincent holding his baby, for example. But those moments fare as a lot better than the twist does. When it was revealed that Vincent was a snake, my buddy turned on him hard. How could he go through this whole game just to do Leo so dirty like that? This is bad. How is this bad? It sounds like the scene is doing its job, you might be thinking. Maybe. I don't know. My buddy was playing as Vincent. For the last 10 hours of game, these two guys were ride or die because of the situation they were in. This twist would work so well if it was a single player game and you played as Leo. But here, the person playing as Vincent didn't choose to be a snake or even knew he was a snake. Not only is Leo's player mad at Vincent, but it's very easy for Vincent's player to also be mad at Vincent. The twist working fully relies on Vincent's player absolutely hating Leo and thinking he's an asshole. But the game can't make Leo seem too much like an asshole because Leo's player still has to like him. It feels empty and kind of cheap when you play the last segment as Vincent. Now, imagine if it wasn't split screen. You can give each player a different perspective during the opening cutscene. Set it during the interrogation at the beginning of the game when Vincent nominates himself to go undercover to work with Leo to take down a popular Canadian fast food chain. For Leo, it can be the other side of this scene, and maybe he admits to the murder of Vincent's brother, but it's said after Vincent leaves so he doesn't know that. I know Leo doesn't murder Vincent's brother, but he needs a secret that would make Vincent very upset. Given that Vincent's main motivation is avenging his brother, having Leo be the one to kill him is just the quickest fix I got. To take it a step further, have the opening scene be when Vincent's brother dies, make Leo's player kill Vincent's brother, and have Vincent's player try to rush over there but fail to save his brother no matter what. Put that death on Leo's player's hands, Vincent's player get more motivation to kill Leo, not just because he killed his brother, but also kind of because they can feel guilty now because they failed to get there in time. Now, when the game reveals that Vincent is a fucking snake, it doesn't blindside the player, and the player can also kind of feel bad that they kept this secret from Leo's player the whole game. Leo's player not only feels betrayed by Vincent, but also feels betrayed by Vincent's player because he also kept that secret. Then Leo can drop the bomb that he killed Vincent's brother, giving both players and both characters the motivation to kill each other. It's like the funnest Secret Hitler stretched to 10 hours long and way more personal. As it is right now, I feel like only Leo has the motivation to kill Vincent at the end of the game. Vincent kind of does it out of self-defense, but he really didn't have to kill him. Vincent ruined Leo's life. Leo did not ruin Vincent's life. Justice for Leo. That's better. And if they did go down this route, the game would have this neat turn of events where Harvey isn't the main villain in the end, it's actually the other player. It would also just make the game way more replayable too, because now you can see the other side of the story and see what the other character was really like. As much as I do think the twist kind of falls flat on its face, I do like how both endings of the game feel canon, and I feel like that's just rare for games that have multiple endings. I would absolutely love a game like A Way Out, where you and like 3 other friends have to like pull off a casino heist or something, and you have to do all the setup work and go pull off the job too. Call it A Way In. It feels like A Way Out is so close to unlocking the perfect online cooperative story-driven game. But instead it just gave us the best couch co-op game from last gen. I really want to play this game without the split screen. Just the idea of it brings like a lot of gameplay and narrative ideas that sound really exciting to me. Do you agree? Think I'm an idiot? Comment down below. Okay, wait, hold up. Pars the outro. There's some things I forgot to say. I have a Twitter now. Some guy Matt with 3 T's. 2 T's was taken. Follow me for great tweets like, I haven't tweeted anything yet. Also I have a Twitch. Been grinding out Kingdom Hearts Melody and Memory lately, and might stream it. I don't know yet. Okay, back to the outro. Dislike the video if you think the Oscars are better than the Game Awards, and subscribe for more bad content. I'll leave you with the wise words of honestly one of my favorite indie devs right now. Take care, guys.
Fuck the Oscars, you know? Fuck the Oscars! Fuck you! I'll tell you! This is bullshit!